So here we are, Sunday morning, last day of 2023 in central Wisconsin, and it's snowing this morning. Though I can't really complain because we really haven't gotten any snow, or very little of it. So my truck has just been kind of sitting there with a plow on it doing absolutely nothing, which is perfectly fine with me. Living in this crap for 61 years, I could care less if it ever snows. So, but here it is, and so I just figured, well, I'll come into my barn this morning, which I did, and clean up some of the cars, which I did. My 69 Riviera GS. Got the underneath, not that it needed it really, but you know, it's all cleaned up and pretty spotless. Looked like it just rolled out of the factory. So anyway, so I got that. Got my bike cleaned up. Cleaned up my Grand National a little bit. Got it all cleaned up and everything. Just something to do on a Sunday morning. He's all cleaned up, looking good. I really like this car. I think it's only got, I don't know what the miles are on it. It's got 23,136 original miles on it. So, it's a pretty clean car. And then up top, I got my 2002 Trans Am convertible WS6. This car here has only got, I don't know, 17,000 original miles on it. It's real clean underneath. Looks like it's never been driven. I put steel wool in my tailpipes in the winter when I store these things because you just don't want, you do everything you can to try to keep the critters out of it. So, but yeah, this car here has got markings on it from the factory still, barcodes and stuff on the drive shaft. So it gets very, very little driven. All of these do actually. So, but I believe that this GS Riviera says 37,000 miles on the clock, and I tend to believe that that's original miles, just for the fact because my mechanic had to replace a water pump on it last year because it was leaking, and he broke every bolt trying to get that thing out of there, and then he called me up and he saw a lot of the original OEM parts inside that motor, and the numbers match on the whole drive line and everything. He seems to think that those miles are original, but I just don't have the documentation to prove it, unfortunately. But as clean as it is and as well as it drives and everything, I believe that it is. Grand National has original documented miles. So does my Trans Am. So then my pride and joy, which is my 2.5 year project that I've been working on, is my 1972 Buick Riviera. I bought this car out of Kentucky. It had good bones to it. It needed work. Had the typical rust holes down in the rear quarters and in the front a little bit. And I made the decision when it came off the car carrier when I bought it that it's going straight to the restoration shop. And I was fortunate enough to find a place locally up here that does that kind of work. And I interviewed probably 7 or 8 companies to do this work, and I picked him just for one of the reasons I've seen his work, and he does really great work, and he's close. And the nice thing about that is I was able to go visit it a lot and see it live, and I was really pleased with the way this car turned out. I have yet to drive it, just because when it got back here, it was just a month ago, and it's winter here in Wisconsin, and I will not take it out at all when it's like that. So it's been sitting here all by its lonesome, waiting to be driven, and I'm so can't wait. It just cannot wait. It's hard for me to maneuver around here because of my garage door here, sorry, but every piece of trim, and people that know these boat tails know that you just cannot get new aftermarket parts. You just can't get them. And so every piece of chrome, every piece of trim work, every the rear quarters and the front fenders had to have fabrication done to them, which they did an amazing job. You can't even tell. I mean, it was just amazing. The body work that they did on this was a 15 out of 10. I mean, it was really, really good. And so we took every trim piece, chrome piece, everything, took it out, had it re-chromed, straightened, polished. That alone took like 3 months. Once they sent that out to have a company, they send it to an outside company that actually does that kind of work. And they did just an amazing job with it. I made a few modifications to this car just because for a few reasons. The 72 has the black rubber strips across the bumper, and then they have them big gaudy bumper guards that I just did not like at all. And knowing that you cannot get those rubber bumper strips, and the ones that were on there originally were just in really bad shape, and I knew that it would be next to impossible to get new ones, I made the decision to pull them off, plug the holes in the bumper, and have it re-chromed so it almost kind of looks like a 71, with the exception of the grill work, because the grill work is different on a 72 versus 71. That's really the only changes I made to this car, was just that, and it's just because I knew I wasn't going to be able to replace those black rubber guards on there, and I just did not like those bumper guards on there, And if anybody's looking for a set of bumper guards, I have them, and if they need them, let me know, and we can work out a price. And they're just sitting upstairs and up in my loft there. So, but anyway, this was just a car. I'm a 61-year-old man, and years ago when I was like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, 12 years old, my older brother came home with one of these, and it was like the first time I got struck by an honest of a car. The curve of the window and the back end, and just the way this car, when he pulled in the driveway, I was just starstruck by it, and I knew it was something I always wanted. And and I shopped for years, because the one thing I wanted, and I wasn't settling for anything less, was I wanted one that had good bones, and then also has the bucket seats and the console. I could have gotten a lot of these things with a bench seat. I am not a bench seat fan. It had to have bucket seats and a console, and I just assumed not have one if I couldn't get it that way. So, and that's why I was able to find this one. Actually, my younger brother found this down in Kentucky for me and sent me the link to it, and I bought it, But like I said, I'm really pleased with how this restoration turned out, and it's the first time I've ever done something like this. Normally I'll buy a car that's already done, and there's pros and cons to this. There's a lot of money being spent to have it done, but then you can get it done exactly the way you want it. You pick the color, and this is not an OEM color. This is a special ordered color that the restoration shop did on a Corvette, and when he sprayed a piece of metal with this paint on it and showed it to me, I was immediately saying, this is the color. I didn't even think twice about it, and I am so glad that I did, because I just think, and even when it's out in the sunlight, it's simply striking. It'll have different metallic colors in it when it's outside and it's shining in the sunlight, So, I just could not be happier with how this turned out. Interior's in really nice shape. Everything works. Ask me how it rides. I don't know. I haven't driven it. I take that back. I think I drove it once when it before it went in for restoration, but it was just a little bit. I mean, it might have been just a mile or two. It wasn't very much, and so just really happy with it. I'm going to pop the hood open on this thing. I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay. One of these things I got to change that's driving me crazy is this stupid green battery, and that's getting changed before summer for sure. I want to try to find an original kind of Delco GM kind of thing to put in there, and try to keep it as original as I can. The other thing I was kind of mad about with the restoration, and I'm probably going to take it back in the spring and have them. It had an OEM air conditioning compressor system in it, and they went and replaced it without really saying anything to me. And this works and everything, but it does not. It's not a Frigidaire. It's not like the original, and that's really kind of bothering me. And I expressed that to him, and I wish I was down in Florida when they were doing that, and and he felt bad, because you can still get them, and so come this summer, that's going to get switched back to the OEM style, but the amount of detail that they spent in the engine bay, the decals and whatnot, and this car just runs amazingly. The heads have been redone. Most of the motor's been redone on this car. The heads, the exhaust manifold gaskets. It's got brand new dual exhaust. It's got, it's all factory. There's no chrome tips hanging out of the back, which I can't stand. It's all tucked in like it's supposed to be. Everything is pretty much the way it is when it came out of the factory, and that's the way I like. That's the way I like my cars. I want them to look like they just rolled out of the factory. I don't. Oh, the other thing I got to do too is I got to get this pump cleaned up. So I don't know why they didn't do that, but that's something I can do myself. And so the underneath, all the insulation, everything. When they had this car completely stripped down, they put sound deadening insulation and all that stuff in it, which is good. Like I said, I don't know how quiet it is because I haven't really driven it at all since it came back. So and I will not take it out in the winter in Wisconsin. I just won't. Even if the roads are dry, I'm not doing it because I don't know if there's salt on the ground, and I don't want anything underneath this car because the underneath of this car is just as nice as this. Okay, a lot of time and money was spent on it, and I just don't want to mess that up. But this is back when they made cars, guys, and you'll hear that hood. That's solid. So. If I go back into the interior a little bit, like I said, the interior, just amazing. This car when I got it, had a aftermarket radio in it, and I'm like, no way. And I searched high and low and found the Buick AM/FM 8-track player for it. And like I said, everything is original. Everything, all the lights work, back dash, everything, headliner, all this stuff has been redone. So, like I said, it's just another amazing, piece of work they did on this car. It's got factory floor mats. Cost me a fortune for those things, but I wanted it. I wanted to look like it came out the day it took delivery at the Buick dealer back in 1972, and I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. Doors shut really good. Everything just looks like it's to be good. So, but this is my 1972 Buick Riviera, and I'm not really good at doing videos, but I figured I'll do this one, and whatever it is, it is. Like I said, the dual exhaust is the proper, and it's tucked under like it's supposed to be. It doesn't have these gaudy stainless steel things that I see in pictures that just drive me absolutely nuts. Leave it original. Leave it original, people. That's what they're designed for. This is just a beautiful piece of work that needs to be left alone. Okay? That's my opinion. Take it for what I'm an old man too. I like things original. So, but anyway, that's it, guys and gals. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a great new year. Looking forward to a better 2024. Let me stand back here. Better 2024 for everybody. So take care.